If you've been playing poker for some time, you've undoubtedly been on the wrong end of many coolers.
Alright, I call.
Hellmuth calls and sees King Queen of clubs. Bingo!
See, if a club comes, I don't lose one nickel in the sand.
What a pot for...
Whether you ran 2-pair into a straight or kings into aces, 2 questions probably came to mind. 1. Could I have gotten away? And 2. Why am I so unlucky? Most of the time, the answer to the first question is no. A cooler is a cooler, and as long as you also stack your opponent when the tables are turned, then technically you're not losing any money. Technically. But what if I told you there was a way to get cooler less often? Just like Neo in the Matrix, you might be able to dodge a few extra bullets if you make some adjustments to your preflop strategy. One common mistake is calling with small suited gappers in situations where it is likely to go multi-way. Imagine you're on the button with 8-6 suited, facing a raise and a call. It might be tempting to flick your chips in, but let's think about what's likely to happen if you do. Chances are at least one of the blinds is going to tag along. And contrary to what most players think, small suited gappers actually don't perform that well multi-way. Out of the 3 possible straights we can hit, one of them is not the nuts. This might not be a big deal when heads up, but given how tight most players tend to stack off multi-way, it makes it very difficult to get value when we hit the lower end of the straight. Either we are drawing dead against a higher straight, or we are up against a set, which has a decent number of outs against us anyway. Hands like 2-pair that would normally pay us off will probably be much more cautious about getting the money in due to the increased likelihood of running into a better hand. The end result is that we either win a small pot when we are ahead or lose a huge one when we are behind. Similarly, the times we flop a flush draw, it's only an 8-high one. So even if we do get there by the river, it's usually quite difficult to get called by worse. Just think about how likely you would be to call down with a set on a flush completing runout. It might be a relatively easy decision heads up, but you'd probably think twice about calling if there were 3 to 4 other players in the pot. As a result, the times that we get it in with a small flush multi-way, it can sometimes feel like we always run into a higher flush. In short, what seems like bad luck often boils down to poor preflop decisions. By being more selective with the types of hands we enter the pot with, we avoid putting ourselves in many cooler type situations, effectively making us luckier. Another way to avoid running the second nuts into the nuts is to make your opponent fold before he gets there. For example, on this 10-9 high board, button has many combinations of straight draws that make good double barrel candidates. But out of all these combos, it's 6-7 and Jack-7 that are barreling at the highest frequency. These hands are not drawing to the nuts. If we check behind and hit our straight, we could potentially lose a huge pot against Queen-Jack. So to avoid this situation, the solver makes a big bet on the turn in order to fold out Queen-Jack before it has the chance to get there. This way, the times that we do hit our straight, we can value bet more confidently, knowing that our hand is the effective nuts. On the other hand, draws that dominate other draws tend to check a bit more often. By checking a hand like King-Queen, we keep dominated draws like Queen-8 and 7-8 in the big blinds range, ensuring that we win a big pot the times that the river is a jack. Whereas if we had bet the turn, Queen-8 and 7-8 would both have folded, and we lose out on the chance to cooler our opponent. The same concept applies on this other board, where the solver bets 5x way more often than 10x. Just like before, betting has the effect of cleansing our outs. By removing 10x from the big blinds range, we increase the value of our hand the times that the river is a 9. Whereas with 10x, we don't mind checking and keeping 5x in the big blinds range, since 5x will almost certainly pay us off the times that we hit our straight. Hopefully this video makes you a bit luckier at the tables, and don't forget to subscribe for more content.